Doc Loves the Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015, whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the U in community.
Doc Loves the Kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy,
where we give you the courtesy of conversation
that's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Don't forget to like, listen, subscribe. Thanks to all our listeners for sticking with us. Don't forget our Friday Fix at 7 p.m. Pacific time and our live digital town hall at 1 p.m. Pacific time on Sunday. Friday Fix is Friday. Senor Wesley, how you doing?
I'm good. About yourself, man?
And I'm doing all right, man. Just watching the America turn upside down. So let's start off here with what's going on in Texas. Texas Land Commissioner Dawn Buckingham is offering the incoming Trump administration 1,402 acres the state purchased along the Texas-Mexico border to be used as a mass deportation operation. In a letter to President-elect Donald Trump, Buckingham said she's offering the land to be used to construct the deportation facilities. The Texas General Land Office purchased a plot of land from a farmer in October to facilitate Texas' efforts to build a wall. My office is fully prepared to enter into an agreement with the Department of Homeland Security, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or the United States Border Patrol to allow the facility to be built for processing, detention, and coordinations of the largest deportation of violent criminals in the nation's history, Buckingham wrote in a letter dated Tuesday. Now, like I was telling my colleague off camera, they're going to put, and Donald Trump has said this too, he's like, we're going to set them there until we can find out how to process them and kick them out the country. They're not going to be sitting there doing nothing. They're going to put those people to work in manual labor.
So you think that they're going to become basically like
slaves?
Okay,
slaves.
I mean, it's a hell of a word for it right there. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking more like internment camp, for not really an internment camp, but work camp kind of people. I mean, I wouldn't call them necessarily. I don't know what's going to necessarily want to call them slaves, but they're working for free.
You ever seen Thor Ragnarok?
Yeah.
They were like, the lady was like, oh, the slaves are free. The slaves are free. And he's like, no, I don't like that word. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. She's like, the prisoners with jobs are loose. And he was like, that's more better. That's more better.
No, I see what you're saying. So you think that this is what their whole intention is to bring them down there and to get them to start working?
Yeah, that's exactly what they're going to do. First of all, they're going to separate. They're going to lose a bunch of children like they did last time. We see how that's happening and coming up with his cabinet. No, they're going to have those people come down there. They're going to have them work farms and everywhere else. They're going to turn them into indentured servants, some of them. They're going to round up American citizens also that try to stop them. Like, it's going to be all out. Like, right now, they're just being cool about it. But yeah, if you're going to build a facility to house 20 million people, you don't have enough space to put 20 million people in. Oh, no,
absolutely. There's going to be many facilities. I mean,
and they're going to put them to work. They're going to make them work those farms. They're going to make them do agriculture stuff. And that's how the price of food's going to go down. Watch.
That's a hell of a theory there.
I don't think any of my theories has been wrong since when I talk about Donald Trump. I know exactly what they're doing because they do it in plain sight, and the Democrats are too weak to stop them. You want to know why? Because the Democrats are all cool with it. As long as they get to keep their power and that falseness of, hey, we're still going to give you hope, they're fine with it because they're not losing nothing. They're not losing their position. They may have lost their vote in the House, but they still get to go up there and get all that money from us and do nothing for us. They didn't save you at all.
I'm thinking like when you listen to even like what Rand Paul came out saying, he's saying that he's not even in support of the military being used against American citizens because, and to your point, he says the military is used to go and shoot the enemy, is going to take out the enemy. That's what they're being trained to do. They're not being trained to do things like get a warrant and then go in and figure out what's going on. He's saying that the military and being used in the streets of the United States has been illegal for over 100 years. You know what I mean? So I don't see how Trump is going to be able to use some type of an executive order. But I'm not saying he won't be able to.
And America's never had a king before either. But I guess that's going to be a first also.
Well, we almost had one to begin with. I think they tried to make George Washington.
George Washington was like, no, we just left a king. Yeah. We're not going to do it again. But now we have a king. We have a king. We have a dictator. It's going to happen. They're going to put the military in the street. The military is going to go door to door to door. People are going to be like, yeah, I think there's illegals over there. There's illegals over there. They can point just like a witch hunt, and they're going to come in your door, kick it open if you don't let them in, round up your family. If you resist them, these internment camps. If you resist them and say, no, you can't come in my house, you've just committed a crime.
Yep, you did.
Now you get to get locked up, you and your family. And make sure you don't have no little kids trying to get locked up like that either, because you'll probably never see your kids again because they're going to separate them, and they're going to disappear like they did the last time.
It's crazy, man, because this is like a actual thing that we have to think about. You hear people saying that we're like, oh, you guys are fear mongering X, Y, and Z. I mean, I feel like I'm just telling the truth.
I guess I'm trying to warn you what's happening.
Everything that we've said is pretty much, not saying it's been perfectly prophetic, but it's been coming true. You look at the people who he's put around him to make these things a reality. Not to get into that just yet, but I mean, he's made it pretty much so that whatever he said, he doesn't have an actual a person who has an education or a background in what they're in there for. I mean, some of them might have slight, but not really for what they're in there for.
No, they're talking a good game. Just like they're like armchair coaches. You know what I'm saying? Or easy, lazy boy armchair coaches. You know, if I was in charge of that, I could do a better job and this and this and that.
And also the bigger thing of that even is it's like, we're the people, black people who, because we were sure as hell put out front. And I think he's gotten more of the black vote than any Republican for quite a long time. You know what I mean? So where are the black people in your cabinet positions? You were appointed, I think, 18 cabinet positions. I mean, you got a few left, but if you have it, why weren't they some of the first ones being appointed to positions? You've shown people that these are the least among us, pretty much.
Why would they get a position?
And that's because you gotta look at a guy like Byron Donalds. He went out front. He said every time he needed to put a black man up front, Byron Donalds, he threw him out there.
Yeah, and now they can't do it no more. Byron Donalds don't know how to dribble, throw football, or nothing. He just be talking a good game. And what's his name? The one black dude put him in his place. He was like, look, all your constituents are white, right? Where you govern at, or where you're at. And he's like, yep, every last one of them. And they're like, but he's coming over here to black folks telling y'all what to do. Byron Donalds was just a shell. Ben Carson might get a position because they're talking about Ben Carson might come back for him.
But all the rest of them, secretary?
What's homeboy from North Carolina? Come on, bro. Using a burner account on a porn site? Come on, man.
Robinson?
Yeah. What's her? Candace Owens?
They had Herschel Walker go up on there for him.
Herschel Walker is supposed to be in Georgia. You hear him talk? Hey, man, I'm just saying like this, when the hot dogs come out and they all toasty and stuff, I like mine crispy when I put it on my car radiator.
But yeah,
that's how Herschel Walker talks.
No, I definitely agree.
Herschel Walker shouldn't even be in front of a drive-through machine trying to give somebody an order.
We're at a point right now, man, where you got people who are trying to give thousands of acres of land to try and house immigrants, people who've come to another place looking for a better life, talking about, just because these guys are illegal, XYZ, which I'm sure if we had a better process, it would have been a lot easier to get these people processed through the system and to become citizens. But then you got a guy who you put in your cabinet for I think it's Department of, government, something, basically an oversight position, who was illegal when he came here. And so are we retroactively trying to get people who even came here legally ever? Or are we just trying to attack people who are from countries that you don't like? Because if you look at the countries who they pointed out, they're pointing out like Venezuela, I think it was Haiti. It's mostly all countries. It's all Latin American or people of color. Period. Plain and simple.
Yeah, of course.
I think even
they're not
China,
kicking out the European ones.
No, absolutely not.
That's not going to happen.
No, absolutely not.
Not at all.
It's crazy to me that they really feel like this is going to help America. Like this helps America in any way, shape, or form.
You know what? At this point in time, I need all this to happen. Every last piece of it. I need people to understand what they voted for, what they wanted, and I want everyone to get exactly what they wanted. You voted Donald Trump in? Cool. Hey, he won. Fair election. Fine. Let him deport everybody. Let them cut out these government programs. I want them to do everything that you voted them to do. That's what I want to see. Because I want you to start, when you start crying because you can't afford nothing, I'm just gonna be like, hey, this is what you voted for. I'm going to be fine. I've been in the gutter. I know how to survive. I'm not on food stamps. I'm not on housing and state assistance. I have to work double hard to get my job.
If you're cutting $2 trillion out of the budget, where is that going to come from? The budget's only about $6 trillion, over $6 trillion. If you're cutting a third of the budget, where the hell are you going to get that money from? I'm just wondering, you know what I mean? Because I know it's not coming from, any of the major programs that we have. It's probably going to come from cutting NASA. You know who that's going to help?
Nobody.
Elon Musk.
Yep.
Because then he'll end up being our only source of being able to any kind of space exploration or anything like that. There's a bunch of other programs that they're talking about cutting. It's just crazy, man.
No, I want to watch the look. People don't understand the end of Donald Trump's presidency. Last time the country was in the ground. It was in the gutter. You can say COVID, whatever. He ran us into the ground. And I always joked. I was like, man, don't make me tell the Democrats, don't make me vote for Trump again. I'll let him finish this country off. And he's going to. And a lot of people, you're not understanding how bad it's about to be, but hopefully it's not. Like, did you want to do RFK? Because RFK is part of it. He's going to be the head of FDA. And I'm kind of cool with what he's doing.
You go ahead.
Yeah. So I got one.